and welcome back to Cat's Corner. My name is Kayla, and in today's video we are going to be going through my portable drama therapy bag and all of the different tools that I keep within it to use during sessions. If you know anything about drama therapists or creative arts therapists in general, you know that they love tools and they love stuff. Drama therapists have been known to have a bunch of different props and costume pieces and arts and crafts supplies. And while I have used all of those things in sessions and I really enjoy using them, in a lot of the environments where we'll be working, we don't have the opportunity to take all of those items with us. More than likely, we're going to be seeing clients individually and we're going to have to bring things to them. So the purpose of this video is to show you some of the things that I use for typical sessions to help kind of break the ice or do interventions, and just to show you what I bring in my own portable bag. So get ready, and here we go. So one of the first things that I keep inside of my bag at all times are books. I tend to use more picture books than anything more in depth, just because pictures can be really inspiring to kids, and then you don't have to necessarily worry about reading level. So some of my favorite books that I keep in my bag that I pulled out are What Do You Do With a Problem? I kind of took the jacket off, but this one is really good for, looking at problems and kind of figuring out how to understand them, how to find solutions, and it kind of explains how everyone has problems and that it's okay to have them. So I really love this book. The second book that I keep with me is The Color Monster. You might have seen this in one of my previous videos. This book is fabulous because it goes through and it just kind of equates different feelings with different colors. For example, yellow is happiness. And I use this a lot when I'm working to help clients build emotional intelligence skills, where we identify emotions and how they feel in our bodies, and then maybe, the different colors that you might interpret them as. So this is another really great one. And then a last book that I keep with me that isn't necessarily therapeutically themed are I Spy books. There's so many different I Spy books. You can find a lot of them at secondhand stores. I love them because the pictures are really inspiring for enactments. With a lot of stories, what I'll do is we can read them together, or we look at the pictures and then we act them out or kind of figure out what the character might be feeling, and we kind of build different dramatic scenes based on that. With I Spy books, I find it super fun to, instead of, finding things, to look at the pictures and have the kids kind of come up with dialogue for the different characters they see, or to explain kind of the world they're in. And then we kind of go through and we step into that world together and kind of create something really imaginative. So I Spy books are fabulous for that. So books are the first main thing that I'll have in my bag. Another thing that I keep in my bag are stress balls. A lot of kids are very sensory type people, and so I like to have different textured objects or fidgets that they can use, so stress balls are really great. Something in particular that I love about these stress balls is that they all have different emotional faces on them. So a lot of times I use these to talk to kids about emotions or to do activities with emotions. I think I got these pretty cheap at like a dollar store. So they're really easy to have at home if you're looking for something like that to keep around. So I have books and stress balls. Pull up my bag here. Another object that I keep in my bag is clipboards. I do a lot of drawing and writing with my clients, and a lot of times we might not be in the most opportune spaces for that. So it can be really nice to have clipboards just so they have something easy to write on. Along with the clipboards, I almost always have paper in my bag, just blank paper in different sizes, some construction paper, and then of course I always keep a set of markers and a set of crayons, just so I can use them, so they can use them. When I was working in a hospital, we had so many of these that we could bring them into clients' rooms and they got to keep them. And I thought that was a really great way to kind of build trust and to show them that you really wanted them to engage with the materials. So I have art supplies such as clipboards and papers, pens, pencils. I have a couple on the side right here. Markers and crayons. Something that my middle school students love are Mad Libs. I guarantee with any kid, if you're like, have you ever done Mad Libs before? Unless they're really little, their face will light up and they'll go, oh my gosh, Mad Libs, I love those. So I like to bring these into sessions to get kids talking, to get us laughing, and to also give us an opportunity to act some funny things out and have them be able to see their input put into a story. So Mad Libs can be pretty fun. Sometimes I have kids do dramatic readings of them where I give them a Mad Lib that their friends did, and then they have to be as fancy as they can while they read it. And they love that. So we have some Mad Libs for some of the older kids. I also like to bring with me my Mindful Kids box of cards with activities related to mindfulness. Anna did an awesome video using these cards and kind of showing some of the interventions that you can check out earlier in our blog. And I also bought a set because I love these. So I've used these with some of my clients. There's some awesome activities where you dance around the room like an animal, or you pretend to be a tree or a boat on the ocean, and they're very imaginative and they're very engaging. So I love having these. And they're awesome in case you're kind of struggling figuring out what to do. You can always look in here. There's a box of like 50 ideas that you can just pull them out and kind of go through for whatever you might need that day. So highly suggest Mindful Kid cards. Going a little bit deeper, I made this myself. This is another one of the sensory tools that I will often use. It is a kind of calm down jar. You might have seen. I like using plastic tubes because then they don't break as easily, and I also hot glue the cap on when I'm done with it so that it doesn't actually accidentally break and get stuff everywhere. But these can be really good when kids just need some time, maybe to practice some deep breathing techniques or to just kind of zone out for a little bit. I'll have them mix it up as much as they want. This one is really just glitter, oil, water, and a little bit of blue food coloring. And then I just kind of have them watch the bubbles as they fall and practice deep breathing. And this is always something they find pretty enjoyable. Next in my bag, I got these from the dollar section at Target. These are one of my go-to standards. They are puppet eye rings. So what you do is you take one of these and you put them on your fingers, and the eyes will point outward, and then it makes your hand into a puppet. Kids absolutely love these. They are a great way to foster communication. Maybe if they don't want to talk as themselves, they can talk as a puppet. They can create, a character for their puppet. You can teach them puppetry skills, which might make them feel like they're mastering something. So I've always found these to be really fun and a great way to break the ice so that kids feel like they can be goofy. Coming up towards the end of the things that I keep in my bag, I have a few sets of Rory's story cubes. Every drama therapist that I know that has these absolutely loves them. These are a fabulous product. You can buy a bunch of them online. I have a regular set, an actions set, and then a voyages or kind of like fantasy set. And what they are basically dice. And all of the dice have different pictures on them. And you can use these in so many different ways. The sets themselves come with suggestions on the inside of ways to make stories. I like to combine them with art products. Oftentimes I'll have clients roll a certain amount and try and verbally tell a story. You can switch where one person says a sentence as you go around. I have people who they get 3 dice and you do a beginning, a middle, and an end based on the picture. I give them paper and markers and we try and draw a scene where you see all 3 of the pictures in action. You can get out Play-Doh and try and sculpt things. They're perfect for really anything. You can show these to kids and they'll create their own way to use them right away. And I just think they're a fabulous product. So Rory's Story Cubes come highly recommended. I keep all 3 packs with me whenever I go, and I'm looking to buy more in the future. Something that I don't have in my bag currently because of COVID, but that I like to have a lot is little tubs of Play-Doh. Kids, again, love sensory things. They love squishing. Even adults really love Play-Doh. It's like you get it out and they get so excited. But there are a lot of opportunities for sculpting with Play-Doh, for doing sensory things, again, for using story cubes. And I've never met a kid who, when I say I have Play-Doh, goes, ew, I don't want to do that. They always want Play-Doh. So I keep that in there, but because of germs and COVID, I have kept my Play-Doh out for right now. The last two things that I'm going to go over in my bag tend to be more adult/therapist related. But I always keep a notebook in my bag. This is so that I can track what sessions I do when. I keep it, coded and everything so that it meets privacy standards. But then I also use it to help take notes and jot down ideas between sessions so that I remember what we talked about, what I plan to do going forward, and any other notes that I might have during the session or thoughts. So I keep this in there. And then I normally keep 1 to 3 folders in my bag. With creative arts therapies, we do a lot of projects and art projects, and if kids don't want to take them home, we actually take their art pretty seriously and we keep it with their case. Their art projects aren't something that we just get rid of because that's something that's private, that's something that they created and that they put a lot of work and emotion into. And so I like to have folders where I can separate my client's artwork so that it stays private and I can get it back out if I need to look at it again. So I'll have folders for that. And then I'll also have folders for different activities. So this is my worksheet folder. And I print out a whole bunch of different worksheets of different activities that we can do. I have, I have a stage so we can color about our lives on the stage, what's center stage in your life. I have another stage where it's like a little comic strip and you can pull it through, so that's really good for telling stories in parts. I have a shield that we can kind of create when you're talking about boundaries or protection or just kind of learning about yourself. I also have a keyhole worksheet that I use when I want to kind of talk about perspective for clients. So it's that idea of if you were looking in on the scene like through a keyhole in a door, what do you think you would see or what do you think you would hear? And then just a couple other worksheets where I like to break things down for if clients want to color comics. I have different squares for that. There's a special kind of drama therapy / storytelling technique called a 6-part story that I also use these for. And so I always like to have some worksheets printed off and ready to go. So that way when I'm in a session and, an idea kind of strikes, I can just pull it out and have it or go photocopy it real quick. And my clients can stay really engaged while we're doing that. So those are all of the items that I keep in my kind of to-go or go-to drama therapy bag when I can't bring my scarves and my costumes and my props and everything. They're a very good basis. I love using these with kids and they always come up with new creative things to use with each of these tools. And in my blog post underneath this, I will include some links for some of these products as the holidays are approaching and you might be interested in purchasing them for someone you know or for your own household. Again, Mindful Kids and Story Cubes, those things are great. You can buy puppet eyes. You can buy some of my favorite books, anything like that. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your week and that you learned something new about some of the things that drama therapists might do. See you later.